Hi everybody and welcome to Let's Play War for the Overworld. So I have booted up the first mission and made sure that it runs and records okay, but I haven't played any of it, so this is completely blind. Well, no, it's
I've been looking for someone to spearhead my campaign. But before we get stuck in, let's refresh that old mind of yours.
Very nearly completely blind.
Now go!
Welcome back, Underlord. I must say, I wasn't expecting you quite so soon. The transference may have left you feeling a bit foggy in the head. Focus now. I'll try to ease you back into it. Fortunately, this does seem to get easier each time. This is your home realm, the source of your power, and the anchor that binds you to reality. Many years ago, it was destroyed, and you were cast out into formless nothing. Fortunately, you've returned from your exile to once again challenge those who would stand between us and the mortal realm of Kairos. Your resurrection heralds the next phase of our assault upon its wretched empire, now led by the newly crowned Emperor Lucius. But he is least and final of our worries. It's his generals and the protection of their goddess Kira that will truly test our mettle. Ready yourself, Underlord. Let's begin our war for the Overworld. Welcome back, Underlord. It's been a long time since you were banished to the ether. You've returned as a husk of your former self. But I've taught far denser underlords than you. Let's start with the basics. This is your dungeon core, the tether that allows you to manifest your malignant will. If destroyed, your consciousness will once again be scattered to the void. Your workers are an extension of your dark will. They have many jobs, but their main focus is in carving out the halls of your dungeon. Put them to work by clicking and dragging your cursor upon the flashing tiles to tag them for excavation. Your workers will now rush forth to dig out and claim the tagged area. Once they have laid down the stones, marking the ground as your own, you will be able to build rooms upon the finished tiles. While your lackeys get to work, look to the east of your dungeon core. This is a gateway, one of the many portals that you'll use to attract minions to your dungeon. Order your workers to dig a path to it now. Now that you have a gateway, minions can enter into your service. But first you'll need to build the rooms necessary to entice them in. Start by building a barracks. This room will allow your minions to hone their combat skills without the risk of permanent death or disfigurement. Select it and build it by clicking and dragging your hand across the claimed tiles. Most rooms must be built at least 3 by 3 in order to function properly, though the lair and vault are effective at any size. A gnarling has entered your dungeon. A gnarling has entered your dungeon. Attracted by the barracks, these green-skinned scrappers aren't quite right in the head, and they'll happily hack at your foes until someone is dead. Outside of combat, gnarlings will train themselves within your barracks. You can pick them up with a click if you find them slouching off, then deposit them anywhere within your dungeon with a right click. For further entertainment, you can always put yourself directly into their head by casting possession upon them.
So the
Now
opening...
that you have some minions, you will need to cater for their basic needs. First, build a lair, so the pitiful little meat sacks can get some rest.
If you thought the opening cutscene looked bad, it just does. I don't know why, it must be the codecs on my PC or something,
Well done.
but it's very sort of clunky.
But see how your gold reserves have been depleted. Command your workers to mine some of the nearby gold by tagging the gleaming tiles. They collect and return gold to your dungeon coffers, allowing you to spend it on whatever your dark heart desires. Your core can store up to 16,000 gold pieces. But if that number sounds pitifully small, or if wealth inspires the evil in you, simply build a vault to store more. Now that you've got a bit of coin in your pocket, you can build a slaughter pan. This room produces scores of micro-piglets, a delicacy that will sustain the weak flesh of your minions by filling their bellies with succulent pig flesh.
So I'll get back to the opening FMV first. Yeah, it's just the way it runs on my PC, but it's not the recording. It actually looks like that to me as well, so I don't know why, but it does. I've turned the brightness up quite a lot from standard because I found it quite a dark game, which is probably meant to be, but I just found it easier to distinguish between the gold and the normal tiles by turning the brightness up. So the other thing that I've noticed is it's very fast compared to Dungeon Keeper 2. Making the walls and digging the things out, it's a lot faster. What was next in my points to say? Oh, Micro Piglets is a reference to Micro Piglets Stalk Your Dungeon from Dungeon Keeper 1 or 2. And I think that's all the things I had to say up to this point. I suspect I've missed out quite a few things. The default view...
Your dungeon has been breached. Cast Rally upon these spectres, and your minions will immediately sally forth to wreak bloody havoc.
The default view is this, which I really don't like. I like to look at it square like I did in Dungeon Keeper 2.
Now finish off the rest of these manifestations with a second rally flag.
But you can't right-click the map. You can't see a bigger map. I guess it's not particularly important, but the only way to square the map up is to do it manually, which is not quite square. I think I am now. No.
Your gnarlings made short work of those spectres, but see how they still circle the flag. You can dismiss rally flags by slapping them with a right click. This should allow your minions to return to their jobs and tend their needs in a timely fashion. You can cast Recall upon a minion to immediately return them to your dungeon, though if they are attacked as it channels, then the spell will fizzle into nothing.
There's a little bit...
You're on a roll, Underlord, and I've been waiting far too long to begin my war for the Overworld. Let us enter the realm of Kairos and continue your retraining against a more fitting enemy. Well done, Underlord. I see it all coming back quite quickly. I expected nothing less. But there's much still to learn. Why don't we work in a bit of murder while we're at it? It's time for you to enter the realm of Kairos.
So this is actually further than I've got in the game before. I got to the point where I slapped my flag and it said, oh, let's advance, but it never came to this screen, so I don't know if it bugged out or not. But this is, from this point on, I have played that mission before, and from this point on it's all new to me. There's a little bit of mouse lag, or it feels like it, but this seems to be quite common in recent games. I don't know if it's because they're designed for Windows 8 and I'm running Windows 7, but GTA 5 I had to play around with the settings and set it to direct input or something rather than the stock settings. I think Hands of Fate has the same thing, and that's also built on Unity, so that might be an issue with the Unity engine in my PC. I've got to say I've not been impressed by any game graphically that's been built on Unity. What else should I add in Chapter 1? I think that'll do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.